we are here with Chef Heston Blumenthal of the Fat Duck in Bray, England. And Heston, you had the honor of kicking off this Congress with a wonderful presentation on Christmas dishes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much.
I thought that one of the things, the topic that you were sort of hammering away on was the importance of it being a multi-sensorial experience.
Yes.
And what I walked away with is you're having a lot of fun. You're doing all kinds of crazy fun things.
Yeah, I'm basically a big kid. A big kid, likes shiny objects.
What, was that a skateboarding accident? Or
it's a very British accident, actually. It was a cricket match. We have our annual staff do.
Right.
It's a cricket match. We hire the local cricket pitch. We have sort of 8 teams. We play all day, have marquee, a magician in the evening. It's great fun. Last ball of the day, I thought I was a 20-something, not a 40-something.
Right.
Dived for this ball, landed on my hand, and I've fractured that, snapped that. I got here Thursday. Wednesday, I was in hospital having pins in my hand. So talk about great timing.
Oh, that is not the kind of multi-sensorial experience we're looking for.
It's certainly not. It's got touch. It's got colour, nice purple colour. Not smelling yet.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Good thing we have the fan as well. So I wanted to ask you, as you were discussing, and the theme of the Congress here is responsibility, the chef's responsibility. You made a firm statement when we got to the ice cream portion of the menu that you were not going to serve any reindeer. You said, I cannot serve Rudolph.
Yeah, that was because of the Christmas programme and the British public for that programme. I would say, that's the only reason I did that. Seeing those people in their environment living, that's a really good example of man living with animals. Yeah. Our venison farmer, an amazing chap, made a very good point to me a couple of years ago. He said that he was very close to becoming vegetarian before he started farming venison. Mm. He said he felt that if he could not physically kill an animal himself...
That he was raising.
Yeah, for the purpose of eating it,
yeah,
he did not deserve to eat meat.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good point to make. Not saying that we should all go out and kill an animal and eat it, but I would say in terms of responsibility, what we do have is animals are reared for the purpose of human consumption. Mm. Cost is obviously, it's all very well us top chefs sitting on our pedestal saying only buy free range. There's a lot of people that's very expensive.
Right.
That aside, I would say that for me the worst kind of eater is the person that is happy to eat meat or fish, although as long as they can't see that it's come from an animal and they don't care what life that animal's had. Right. And I think that is really important. So my point with the reindeer, well, actually these people might say, oh, how this is not very nice, they're eating reindeer. Well, the people in Britain might be eating intensively reared pigs, battery chickens. These reindeer, they have a controlled season. The indigenous people, they will hunt the reindeer for food. They will cure some of those meats to
carry them through the season. Yeah.
The animals, they will breed. The animals that get too aggressive, that can't breed and end up, because some of these fights.
Sure.
They will then castrate those animals and they will become their transport. When those animals die, they will use their fur for clothes.
Right. And so it's a full usage of the animal.
Completely. And you can see those people caring for those animals. People say, well, yeah, but they kill them and eat them. But they do, because that's what they live off. Right. Which almost gives them more respect for the animal. But it's just this thing that in Britain people might say, yeah, but it's a reindeer. Okay, right. You're quite happy to eat that piece of ham that's come from such a processed origin.
Process, yeah.
Yeah. But as long as you don't know what it looks like, as long as you pretend it's all okay.
Right. Well, the issue of not eating something for a reason. I think it's very fair to say that your cuisine is one of the most creative cuisines out there, certainly. Reindeer. Any other ingredients that, given your sort of expertise with all kinds of ingredients beyond the ingredients that the normal household person, chef would use, are there any ingredients that you shy away from for any particular reason?
Again, it would be something where either husbandry was compromised, or sustainability, which is it's been a big issue in Britain now for a couple of years. We're a small island and we produce a lot of fish. If we continue to fish species that do not exist in abundance, then they're going to die out.
Yeah, sure.
And so they would generally be the sort of things that I'd ask, the questions I sort of ask myself. I think part of the challenge from the chef's point of view, and part of the really exciting thing of what we do, is actually finding those farmers, those suppliers, those fishermen who devote their life to a product and actually care about it. So our scallops come from brothers that up in Scotland. They just, everything's hand dived. The fish we get, it's all line caught fish, and there are regulations involving fishing and certain size fish that you say, well, okay, if you catch that, you should throw that back in again. But you'll still find fishermen that will feel that actually the regulations don't go far enough, and they will say, okay, so that might be big enough for somebody else, but that's not right for me, and put it back in. So it's really the ability to be able to work with the people that are getting your food for you, the people that actually live with those products.
Right.
And it's the best way to actually find out about just how good a product is and how much that producer cares about the product. Go to the farm, see them with their animals.
Right.
And that you can't lie about that.
I mean, we certainly saw that in the piece that you were showing, that you will travel, and it's nice to hear that you're sourcing many things locally. But for this Christmas presentation, it was rather extravagant. You were traveling to Oman and finding frankincense there, and the rest of it. That was rather fascinating.
I was very lucky. I realised that television actually can be a fantastic research and development tool. It sets deadlines. It gives you focused subjects to work on. What it does do also is, there was both the frankincense from the tree, and milk in the reindeer. I was only there for 2 days in Oman and 2 days Siberia. But when I was doing both of those, I thought to myself, this is something you should do before you die. But obviously I never knew until I'd done it. So I'm very lucky. I know not all of us can go and do that. Yeah. But it's as much about capturing the essence of the product in the environment and the people that live with and around that product. Yeah. And actually reflecting that in the food. You can't do it with every dish, but actually as a when you have that opportunity,
it adds to what you termed the theater of dining, right?
I mean, and it is a holistic approach. It's all encompassing, and if nothing else, when you come across some of these products, you get, especially in the environment with the people and the culture of the people that are involved and live with those products, you become so energized and excited. And if you just capture that energy and then put that into the research and development for the dish, it's brilliant.
So right now, thinking of energy and creating dishes, anything that you're working on specifically that you're really excited about, anything sort of off the beaten track that you're going to surprise us with next? I mean, you were talking about fun things in the experience, such as adding magic, and I loved the whole pop rocks in the mix to create this. And I just want to talk about this for a second. In Chef Blumenthal's presentation, there was a part where you were talking about how people react to sound and how scallops eaten while listening to a soundtrack of a seascape actually tasted brinier, saltier, etc. And people felt that it was a more intense experience. iPod in the conch shell at the table to hear that. I thought that was fascinating. So any process or ingredient that is exciting you right now that you'd like to share with us?
We are working with some great technology, but it's in I would say it still needs more development. Okay. But hologram technology, there's some sound technology, being able to beam sound into an area, so literally you could cut a food and you could make that food sound really crunchy. I suppose one of the most exciting things for me, I think I touched in my presentation on the fact that I think that it should be about excitement and fun. Right. So if somebody came to the Fat Duck and I had a wish list of how I would like them to feel, it would be fun, had a great sense of fun. It doesn't matter how gastronomic something is, a restaurant is, it should be fun. Right. So I was thinking, okay, well, what's the best chance of me getting to have the diner to have fun? Right, what state of mind could they be in? excitement. If I can get them excited before they arrive, as opposed to walking in, nose in the air, they think they're special, don't they? And what's all this nonsense about? That's not what I want people to come in feeling. Just relax. How can I do it? Well, one of the great design things for me is when you can turn a problem into a design advantage feature. Yeah. And our problem is our telephone's a nightmare. 2 months to book a waiting list. It's not accessible. I looked at using a metaphor to generate excitement. And that metaphor is quite a universal metaphor for excitement. It's a kid in a sweet shop.
Right.
And I found myself kept on saying to people, when I did this, I felt like a kid in a sweet shop. So, looking at generating the metaphor of a kid in a sweet shop. We have worked with a perfumier that was in the presentation, Christoph. We have the smell of the sweet shop. And it's got slight licorice notes, citrus notes, caramel, slight woody notes from the shelves. It's fantastic. The idea is you make your reservation, you get access to a website which is a virtual sweet shop.
Okay.
It's recorded in binaural sound, which is like a 3D sound recording.
Okay.
There's something actually, you go onto YouTube and look for the virtual barbershop. You have to have headphones and it has to be binaural. Listen to it and you have your hair cut by someone. It's fantastic. So the idea is this virtual sweet shop. It's more emotive than seeing an animation or a visual of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the noise of the ding-a-ling-a-ling of the doorbell and the rustle of the paper bag and the jar cut, the lid of the jar coming off the jar of sweets being poured into the scales.
Right.
And you have the smell, and there'll be triggers in there. So it could be a random trigger, like a pigeon flying across or something.
Right.
So you have you have the interaction with this. Then we actually rub the smell on the door frame of the fat duck. So when you arrive to the fat duck, it triggers that memory.
That memory.
Door's shut. You sit in, order your food, you have your meal, and maybe you have pigeon for main course. And maybe you go to the toilet and see something on a shelf that you've heard in the shop, and maybe you don't notice. And maybe somebody else says, go and have a look in this, that sort of feeling. Right. And then when you've finished your dinner, you end up with a paper bag that you've heard in the sweet shop with the sweets that are in that bag, and you're given that to take away. So it's a massive project, getting all this done. We've had the bags made, the smell developed, the sweets to go in it all done, the packaging's all done. We're now on the sound element of the actual sweet shop.
Right.
But I just love the idea that you could plant things in this shop. Maybe even have something hanging from a tree on the way into Bray or something. I haven't finalised that.
That's brilliant, though. I mean, the concept of keeping, doing. I mean, that's so multi-layered. So they're actually going to see or experience this as part of their confirmation process of their visit.
So the idea, if you have to book a month or 2 months in advance, I thought, well, why don't you start? If you're not excited and it's a business meeting and you can't be bothered, fair enough.
Right.
But for those who they've made the booking and they're really excited, why not actually give them the ability to get even more excited?
Right.
So the idea that your experience is not from, say, 7 o'clock when you arrive till midnight when you leave. Your experience actually can start 2 months before.
Well, anticipation is the greater part of pleasure, is it not?
I think that childhood feeling and memory of going on an airplane for waiting to go on holiday, waiting for Christmas, waiting for your birthday, all those sorts of things. It's actually the anticipation, more often than not, is the best bit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. I know that you're rushing off to see Chef Trotter do his presentation. I had so much fun. I was, surprised by the pulling out the little, envelope with all of those wonderful things in it. It was brilliant. You're a great presenter, really very fun, and all of the dried ice stuff too. I can't wait. The anticipation of eventually making it to the Fat Duck, and I'll enjoy the sweet shop, and I can't wait. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks. It was brilliant.
Cheers.
All right. So once again, from Star Chefs, Chef Heston Blumenthal from the Fat Duck. Off to see Charlie Trotter now. Thanks again for taking the time.
Thanks.
Cheers.